Hello, I'm the Monk, and welcome back for more Empire of Sin. Up next in our Boss Spotlight series, we have Goldie, many people's favourite boss, and we're going to get stuck into it today and kind of go over what makes Goldie such a good boss. Now, Goldie's actually one of the bosses in the game that was actually made up and not real, not from historical facts. So she was made up especially for Empire of Sin, and maybe that's why she fits into the game so well, because she was kind of custom made for this game. So let's look at her Empire bonuses. First up, we have Speakeasy. Speakeasy earnings are plus 5%, nice and simples. Then you've got the Casino. Casino upgrades are a little bit cheaper as well, a 5% reduction there. Again, I don't normally upgrade my properties, so that's not something I'm really interested in. However, the Speakeasy, we get an extra 5% earnings. That's not too bad, I guess. With diplomatic bonus, you have room to grow. This is all about if you have two or more families, bosses in the same neighborhood. Now, when you start your game, you can have as little as 3 or as many as 10 different neighborhoods. And sometimes you can have a lot of bosses in the one neighborhood. Now, when that happens, you get people not liking each other, because you're kind of stepping on their toes. Well, with Goldie, you get 50% less threat generation for sharing the same neighborhood. So the stats. Now, Goldie has a marksmanship of 88, which, to be fair, is bloody good. It pretty much means that she can use any weapon in the game and use it well. So you can, really model your game over whatever weapon you like the best, really. Melee, she falls short a little bit with a 61. Now, the next three stats, intimidation, leadership, and persuasion. If you watched any of the other episodes, you'll know that these all lead to your dialogue options or in-game events that pop up from time to time. So intimidation is 35, leadership is 60, and persuasion is 100. Obviously, persuasion is fantastic. It's the highest stat you can possibly get, and it means that you will 100% get a success rate in all of those little scenarios that pop up with a persuasion skill gate, including the time when the other bosses may decide to try and buy one of your gangsters off you and gift you £150,000 or dollars for getting your gangster. That really does need to be addressed, because I think $150,000 is an extreme amount of money. Obviously, back when the game was released, the high tier gangsters used to cost a lot more, so it could probably do with being put down a little bit. It's a lot of money, and it's something to think about when you pick a boss for your playthrough, because if you don't have a good persuasion, that's kind of ruled out to you completely. Then we have initiative at 66. That's not particularly good. It's not really good at all. It's lower than a few of the other bosses, and initiative is all about the order in which you go in battle. So if you enter your battle zone, the higher your initiative, the closer up the list you are. It means you get to take your turns first. So 66 means you'll probably be on the back step a little bit. Movement, however, is at 7, which is the highest movement you can actually get. When it comes to any of the bosses, 7 is the most you can get. So 7 movement is great. And defense bonus of 5. Now, when it comes to traits, Goldie is lacking massively. She really has almost nothing to really talk about. The one perk trait that she does have is flirt. She is a flirt, and because she's a flirt, racket upgrade cost is minus 10%. I guess she's sweet talking whoever's doing the upgrades, but that's across all rackets in the game, which is really good. Again, I'm not really one for upgrading my rackets anyway. But if you're going to be doing that, if you're going to be taking over, say, 10 breweries and you want, them all to be producing whiskey, for instance, then Goldie's going to be saving you the most money out of pretty much all of the other bosses in the game. Now, that's not to say that this is an absolutely great trait and it's not something that I would pick my boss over, but it's one of the, or it is the only kind of upside to the traits that she has. Now, the perks. The perk tree on Goldie is actually pretty good. We will get into Killer Queen in just a bit, but first up on tier 2, I would personally get Lifeline. I recommend that with every single boss, honestly. I don't see any reason not to have Lifeline. Any character within 4 meters of you will bleed out instead of dying whenever their HP reaches 0, which means it basically saves your gangsters' lives. If you are recruiting the lesser gangsters at the early stage of the game, they die very, very easily. Some of them only have 60 HP, and Lifeline can literally save their life. So I personally would go for that. In tier 3, I would pick Heal. The reason being is because having your boss as your medic is so useful in the game. It also means you don't have to hire lower level doctors at the beginning because you are a doctor yourself. Now, tier 4 is one of those perks that I'm not really fussed over what you pick. Considering Goldie's melee is not exactly great, I wouldn't really pick Revenge. However, rapid reload could be a good option. You reload your weapons, or reloading your weapons no longer consumes an action point. If you're using pistols, for instance, that could be really good. And of course, if you've got any weapon, say a shotgun, submachine gun, rifle, it means you can reload and still shoot, or move and still shoot as well. So I quite like rapid reload. I think I prefer it a little bit more than the other option, which basically gives you an extra chance not to activate an Overwatch. And considering I normally just shoot the people that are in Overwatch, I don't really see a point in it. Therefore, tier 4, I would probably take rapid reload. Now, tier 5 is very interesting. If you have a long game and you manage to unlock your tier 5 option, it has a couple of interesting ones here. The first one, and the one I will probably take, as I've mentioned in other videos, is Kill Chain. Kill Chain is very strong. You fire a shot at a target, and if that target is killed, your turn doesn't end, and you regain 1 AP, meaning you can fire again if you have a weapon that consumes only 1 AP for firing. The other option is Gun 'em Down, which is you fire a single shot at every enemy within target range until you run out of ammo. So if you have, for instance, a high quality pistol with a lot of rounds in it, or for instance, the golden submachine gun, that's pretty good. Gun 'em Down can be very strong. But I would still pick Kill Chain because you have full control over who you hit when, or maybe you want to use your last AP to heal somebody. And this brings us to our boss ability. Killer Queen. Basically, you fire 3 shots at the targets of your choosing, and you do a good amount of damage to them. If 2 or 3 targets happen to be in a line, you actually shoot all 3 people and you still have your 2 other marks to shoot as well. Or you can stack your shot, doing a very nice amount of damage to one target. For instance, here I target the underboss and just almost take him out of the battle in 1 turn. Now, the underboss has a huge amount of health and has a good armor set, and so you can see how Killer Queen could be really useful to you. But unfortunately, just like a lot of the other good abilities associated with the bosses in the game, it's got a huge recharge of 10 kills to use it again. Now, that's not, totally useless. Obviously, if you make sure you charge it before you go into a safe house, it becomes useful again. But just keep that in mind. 10 kills is quite a lot. But that does bring us to the end of this video. So if you've enjoyed what you watched and you want to see more boss fight videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss the next episode. But until the next one comes along, don't forget to drop your comments on this video as well. Is Goldie someone that you like to play with? And if not, why not? But until next time, I'll see you later.
All right, Mr. Goalies.